Hey everyone, thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. We're at our favorite Irish pub here in Austin, Texas, BD Riley's. I'm here with Jono, here on a weekday match, Thursday match. Still trying to get used to it, but winners 5-1 over Toulouse. Professional victory. I think we had a lot of fun out there. You know, they didn't really put us under a lot of pressure, and it was evident by the lineup too. What did you think about the lineup that Klopp put out?
Yeah, we were kind of talking before, wondering whether Tsimikas might get some more time just to kind of continue bedding in, but give Chambers the call. I like that. I think that midfield we were all kind of curious to see. He'd give Endo some more minutes at 6, Gravenberch, and maybe one surprise, maybe is Elliott in there, but given that Doak is out and he didn't want to start Salah, then he can do a job in there. Don't think it's his ideal position, but
I think that was the midfield that I kind of thought we were going to play with Endo, Gravenberch, and Jones. Right. But it was interesting that Jones played on the right-hand side because he's more effective on the left, and I think even Klopp realized that at halftime. They switched, Gravenberch and Jones switched at halftime, and but with Elliott up front, Nunez, playing up there, and Jota. Still, that's one of the best things about this team this season is that we can rotate 10, 11 players, and we still have a strong enough. Granted, it's still the group stages of the Europa, and we should be beating these teams.
Sure.
But all these players are going to have a part to play in this season, whether it be for Europa, for the League Cup, for FA Cup that when it starts, and in the league itself, we're right there. We're going to need all these players. Any minutes that we can save from the true starters, I guess I don't want to say true starters, but the established starters is going to bode well for the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think these games are just about getting the results and giving minutes to people. You're never going to be able to, it's not about building a fluid attack or the ideal team. It's just about getting the guys on the field when you've got injury suspensions, getting Jones minutes when he's suspended, things like that. So it did look a little bit, first half, a little bit. I mean, we're creating the better of the chances. We were playing fine, but those attacks weren't slick. They weren't smooth, but that's all just kind of fine. I mean, we were still by far the better team, had the better quality. Just switched off a couple of times and maybe a little out of position at times and things like that, but it's pretty comfortable, throughout, honestly, I thought.
I was interested to see that Kwanzaa didn't start because he's been starting all the cup matches, and then starting with Gomez and Matip in the center with Trent. I think, him coming off the injury, still trying to get in his legs, and then we had the international break, obviously, so giving him more minutes. And you fully expect him to be there on the weekend when we play against Forest.
And I said first after somebody that with Kwanzaa on the bench and Jones being a centre-back, I wouldn't be surprised at all if second half he comes in and Jones goes to one of the full-back positions just to kind of, just as a
Gomez,
way to...
you mean?
Gomez, sorry, yeah, move him over to right back. So I assume the main goal from Klopp is give Trent some more time in there to use his creative powers, and then give Gomez some time because he's going to need to play some of those fullback roles. But so, I think it's just a lot of kind of fitting pieces in just to give guys minutes at different positions and so on.
And when, like we said, it's important just to get these people, these players minutes. Endo, I thought, played very well at the 6 today. He kept things simple. But let's go over the goals. The Jota, the first goal, running at people, scoring that goal, megging somebody on the sprint, and just a quality finish, and he has that in his locker all day long.
That was a beautiful individual goal. Great to start it with Gomez being right on the attacker and intercepts, and then I think it pretty much comes to Jota. He turns the guy and then just beats 3 guys. So great individual goal. It's good to see that from Jota. He's great in those tight spaces. We saw, he in Derby, he's almost does a similar thing when he gets hacked down in the top of the box. So that was good to see.
I think what is one of the negatives about Trent is that sometimes he loses focus on defense. And their goal we always say that we play defense. It's so criminal for the outside backs to keep the attackers onside because they see the whole pitch.
Especially that far side one, right? When the ball's so far over the other side, there's no excuse to be the furthest one back, to be hanging back there. You've got plenty of time to recover before that ball gets to you. He just didn't need to be. And he was inside his guy, I think, already. So, he had the angle to cover. So it was a little frustrating. But right after that, he kind of, I think he upped his game a little bit and played some beautiful balls through. So it's a little bit of, maybe switched off but for a second. But
yeah, I think the whole team, after we gave up that goal, kind of amped up the energy, right?
Yeah.
And then right after that, like you said, about 7 minutes after that, on a corner that we play short, we don't deliver it into the box. It comes back out to Trent, delivers a nice ball. I'm thinking he's trying to pick out matchup, I think, on that far post, but Endo gets there, and what a quality header by Endo on that.
Beautiful header. He's kind of almost maybe falling backwards a little bit from it, but he has to direct that perfectly into the corner from where he is. So, anywhere close to the keeper is pretty easy. So that's a beautiful header.
It gets so much stick. You kind of read about it, and that is he quality enough to be Liverpool and player, and he doesn't play in the league that much, but he'll have a role on this team. I thought today I think what he does, he just keeps things simple. When he gets the ball, he's already looking for the pass. He's not looking to beat anybody, turn anybody, and he just keeps the ball moving. So he's a different type of player than maybe what Fabinho was, maybe, who wasn't the guy that turns things, right? He's more like a Thiago, but not as good a passer as Thiago, but all his passes were on the ground into the runners, and I thought Endo played a really good game today.
I totally agree. I think first, until he got his goal, he was doing everything pretty simple, and he was just winning balls and stuff. And then actually he stepped up his passing after the goal. He got some confidence, and he was drilling the ball 30, 40 yards into midfielders or attackers that maybe wouldn't be getting the space against a better team. But it was good to see him playing those balls. And, excellent game from him. I think is his best game for us so far. I mean, the level of the opposition, maybe you still kind of wonder a little bit and against the very best teams if you can do it. But it's good to see him, and he may continue if he gets more minutes to improve.
Nunez gets his goal. Obviously, but that was a great individual effort from Gravenberch. He really, the penetrating run that he did, it was kind of like Jota's run, but, he ended up losing the ball, but it fortuitously goes over to Nunez, and he puts it top shelf, with his left foot. So, Nunez is there. He gets chances. He creates chances. He's just he's Captain Chaos, right? So before we go to the next goal, obviously he missed a chance at the near the end of the game. But what he did prior to the shot, and for people that haven't played, going away from the goal and shifting your hips, it's not the easiest thing to do, but he still should have scored. I'm saying he called bank, and he was passing it to Gravenberch.
Well,
anyway.
we play indoor together, right? So maybe he was like bang off the wall back to him.
Yeah. So,
but he was good pretty much throughout the game, and actually for that goal, he does everything beautifully. It's a beautiful couple of touches to get the beat the defender, and then the defender maybe goes down a little early, but he does everything right. Maybe he just kind of eases up, thinking the job is done, to not quite get his foot around it but I thought he had a pretty good game throughout.
Yeah, I think just a smile on his face. Everybody can laugh about it because he got subbed right after that. Right. It was already a planned sub, but he had already got his goal. We were up, and those are the things that in the training ground he'll get a bunch of stick money.
But props to Gravenberch for again, an excellent game from him. High energy, at least until 70 minutes. Imagine what this guy can do if he can play 90 for us when he gets match fitness up. But he was excellent. He was the first guy there, follows up, and was dead calm about putting the ball in. So yeah, it's exciting to see Gravenberch just keep improving all the time.
Gravenberch reminds me of actually Gapko, but he's quicker, right? He has that length, and he has the ball, the technical skills on the ball, but he's a little faster.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting. I mean,
he drives through that midfield.
Since he's such a young player too, right? Let's not forget about Trent's clearance off the line.
Yeah. Clearance or why the attacker smashes the ball right at him. I don't know, but
I don't know what.
At least he was there.
What Kelleher was doing. Obviously,
he had a few moments, a couple of moments in the game, Keller, that are a little disappointing. He does make a good save later on when the guy's through 1-on-1, I think. But he wasn't superb against Leicester, so I think there was a lot of talk about him maybe leaving. I do hope he continues to get the Europa games, just because he needs some more time in games. But
I mean, we don't want these Thursday matches to just be training ground stuff, right? No. You want to have a little bit of adversity. You're working on combinations, and then, when it was 1-1, obviously we stepped up our game. We have the quality of players. Then Gravenberch scores his goal. We get to bring the kids on. This is what I love about Liverpool. And, sometimes we get so caught up in transfers, right? We want the transfers. But you don't get stories like Chambers coming in, Scanlon, McConnell, Kwanzaa, those young players that are able to come in. And, we had a couple of debuts today.
Yep.
And imagine that, you're 18 years old, your debut for Liverpool is in a Europa game, and it just shows you that it's a multi-pronged approach to be successful year after year, and I think Liverpool and FSG and Klopp, they have it right. But then, we get to bring in Salah. What kind of luxury is that? And if you're the defender from the other team, like, why are you bringing Salah on?
Those poor guys. It's 4-1. Here comes Salah. and his first few touches were kind of like Everton again. It was like just hitting the first defender. But then he plays a great ball around the corner for, I forget, but we almost get a chance from, I think. And then, of course, he's there to, with a beautiful, let the ball come across him and smash it with his right foot into the corner. So it just seems like he's always able to get that goal, no matter what, no matter how he's playing.
It just adds to the legend, right? That every game he plays, he's either providing an assist or a goal, and how he's so important to the overall success of our team.
Absolutely.
And I know that, there's going to be times when or a time that he's not going to be here, and hopefully we'll maximize the money that we get for him. But anyway, so 5-1, we go into the weekend with Nottingham Forest. Mm-hmm. That's the fixture that we're at in the spring, right? The 4-3 victory.
Yeah, the crazy game.
Hopefully we can dispatch them a little bit easier this time. But 5-1, on to the next game for Europa. A lot of games coming up in the next couple months, all the way through January. But we'll need the big squad. So
we will.
Last thoughts?
Just comfortable. I think the other game in the group was a 1-1. So, I think that might guarantee us qualification already. We obviously want to get first place. So if we take care of business, even with a tie probably against Toulouse, I think we guarantee first place probably. I don't know. But, so it's all going well so far. Hopefully, Gakpo looked pretty good on his minutes back. He looked comfortable and was turning, which given a knee injury, that was it seemed like he was confident in himself and his fitness. So we got lots of options again. Obviously, the only slight, question is that left back position. But, we got Tsimikas and Gomez, both kind of experienced players. So hopefully one of them will step up and, Nottingham Forest and Luton the next couple of games. We should be fine.
Yeah, speaking about left back, obviously we played Luke Chambers there. I thought he did rather well, He
looked a bit nervy in the beginning, but I think he did fine overall in the end,
They brought Scanlon in, which was kind of interesting because the previous appearances that Scanlon has had with the team this season has been left wing. They've been playing him up further up the pitch. So that was the first time he was playing left back. He did okay. I mean, he's kind of light back there. He had some moments.
He had one touch where he kind of kept it in when he had an attacker on him. But you could see why we played him left wing, because he's quick. He was trying to get him behind all the time. It'll be interesting to see. I couldn't predict what we'll do at left back in the next few games. I think Tsimikas will probably get the start against Forest, and we'll just see how he does.
Yeah, I think with Chambers, he could be a deputy for Tsimikas, but you always have Gomez.
Yeah.
Who's doesn't get the acclaim, but he could play at any of the back four positions. And now the fifth position, the hybrid role that he has to play when, he's playing that right back. So anyway, we move on, and that's all we can do. Still undefeated in Europa, and move on to the next game, right?
Up the Reds.
Up the Reds. Thank you guys for joining us. Please like our channel, put on your notifications, tell your friends, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.